Today, I'm
have
with
to
Kristin.
look that way. I can look at you, right? Or am I supposed to look that way?
You can look at me, whatever you want.
Okay.
You don't have to look at the camera. So, something interesting has come to my attention.
Yeah.
I went through my old StretchLab notes, just looking for certain people from that point in time. And today is the 20th of April.
Yeah.
Okay. The first time that I had a session with you at StretchLab was the 20th
No
of
kidding.
April.
Get out.
Yes, at 7 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And
And
what does it say about me?
the notes, that's exactly what I want to talk to you about. The notes was neck stiffness,
Yeah.
fibromyalgia,
Right.
and autoimmune.
Yeah.
Because I'm results oriented, I wanted to go to those three things. So we had a period of time where we worked at StretchLab, and then you started coming here. But I didn't look back and see when that was. About what month did you start coming here?
I don't know. A few months, right?
Maybe September-ish? October-ish?
I really have no idea.
I don't either. But I want to talk about the neck stiffness, the fibromyalgia, and the autoimmune. How do you feel about when 2 years ago, when these were in your brain, and today, what are the differences?
Well, the neck stiffness has gotten well, I wouldn't say 100% better. I would say probably 90% better.
Because of experience at StretchLab, or because experience of the things we've been doing in the last few months?
It's a combination. It started at StretchLab. So I started my journey as fitness at StretchLab because I was in horrible shape.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started there, and then I left StretchLab and started practicing what I learned there at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the compression fracture in my back, so I had to find some kind of physical therapy, and I had to rework how I was working out so
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't have so much forward bending.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what led me here. I was working with somebody a physical therapist online, and they were working with me on how to change my workout because I was very much yoga oriented, you know. And then you opened your shop, and then you allowed me to come here, and you focus on what I need and on my limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy. So I've been able to strengthen all of this, everything in here. And I used to be twisted like that. I'd be forward, and that shoulder would be up. That's how I felt all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm straight. Now I've worked on my posture, and I'm able. So now this shoulder, I can still feel it somewhat like behind this shoulder blade, but this shoulder is where it's supposed to be. When I would lay flat on the ground, my shoulders would be up.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go flat
Mm-hmm.
on the ground. So now I'm able to, all of this has opened up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm able to lie flat. I couldn't put my arms above my head on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
They would be kind of like up here.
Mm-hmm.
And so just working everything has loosened everything up, and it's made me stronger.
Interesting. Now you said something about your limitations. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask you. When you started coming here, at StretchLab, we're stretching on a table, which sometimes I start people like that here. But my goal is to get you from a table to get you to doing some restorative yoga on the floor, and then the strength training. I know that I say temple garden yoga or aided yoga, but in reality, yoga's flaw is that there are pushes and there are contortions, but there are not a lot of pulling and very few activations that are strength building or core aware, etc. So there are times you cited a limitation, grip strength, or maybe the way your wrist feels, or maybe the way your body feels, the pain that you might have in your body. How do you feel about those limitations that we might have discussed 4, 5, 6 months ago and compared to today? What has surprised you? What barriers have you broke down? What limitations have you surpassed?
I'm a lot stronger than I thought I could be.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've always been flexible, so that really doesn't surprise me that I could get my flexibility back.
Mm-hmm.
But the strength, I've never had upper body strength, and I think that I guess being able to go to do more without getting exhausted. I'm able to work out for the full hour or whatever we work out, and I'm not completely tapped out, where before, if I did something like that, I would be exhausted for the rest of the day. So I think that it's helping me with that kind of stuff, that I don't need as much downtime. Like, I think I'm more resilient physically than I was before. Yeah, like you just get, with this kind of disease, you get fatigue. And fatigue is different than being tired, in my experience. So it's like your tank is empty. You just have nothing to draw from. You're so tired. You're just mentally and physically exhausted, and you don't have any area that you can just reach for a reserve. There's nothing there. You're just completely tapped out. And by working out the way I am, that it's helping the fatigue. It's not that I don't still get it, but it's less often, and I think I bounce back better.
So you've been able to push your edge of endurance,
Right,
push your edge mentally.
right.
I guess the other thing for me that comes to mind is I say temple garden yoga, but I really would like to think of it as think about changing the name actually to temple garden wellness and yoga, because I think it might more accurately describe what somebody may experience here. The last thing that I wanted to ask you about, or just point out, is that when you're unique in the way that when you first started coming here, the idea when you're shifting from this online model, which my problem with online models is I don't know that people have the ability to critique themselves accurately to where they can make corrections in form or get the right encouragement, or the one-on-one interaction gives you feedback. And with you, you're unique in the way that you can come once a month and go home and have a discipline with your routine and be on your own when it comes to that. But now we switched to a once a week model, and now you're coming for some period of time. You'll be coming for twice a week. Since you've evolved into those phases, how does that relate to your experience and what you feel the benefits have been. And I know it's a short period of time, maybe 2 months. You've been coming once a week.
Yeah.
So, would you?
I think it's broadened my horizon on what I can do, like what I'm able to accomplish, especially upper body wise. And I'm able to, by coming here more often, I'm able to translate it into my home routine, just because I think that we have more time, to work together. So, some of the things that we do, I'm thinking about how I can do it at home.
Mm-hmm. So your home routine has shifted based on the upper body stuff?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yes.
But what are some of the things you've integrated that you've done here that you're doing at home now?
A lot of the the wrist. I work a lot more on my wrists,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting more ideas on how to use the weights myself at home, and then by the stretching. I haven't done it yet, but that was one of the things I wanted to incorporate at home. I have something at home that I can hook the band to so that I can get deeper into my stretch and do different things. And that other thing with the leg that we were doing the other day, that stretched the hip.
Yes, pulling the knees apart.
Where we did the figure four and we had the band
Oh,
on the
pulling.
leg.
Yes. So
So it
you
was
right.
pulled. So I figured out how I can do that at home. I haven't done it yet. So, I think just by coming more often, it just gives me more things to try.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it. I like it. All right. So thanks for taking your time
You're welcome.
and having a
My
chat.
pleasure.
So, all right. That's 4, 5. Push, 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 push. 6. Excellent. That's it.
Okay, it's a wrap.
Cut. Yeah, it's a wrap.